of June 2024. This is going to be a great week. I'm here with my co-host Oris. How's it going?
Doing great, man. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing actually good. A couple more weeks and my son is going to get born, so I'll probably start doing worse from that point onward.
Hey, I'm touching wood for you, brother.
No idea how it's like, and I assume it's scary, so. Right, so let's see what happened this week. There were a couple of interesting stories. Have you heard about the Michigan Man? Hold on, I'll give you the link to Michigan Man. This is something that I also covered on my main channel.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Michigan Man is now a legend on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Twice the legend now.
3 times, actually. Yeah, he went for the hat trick. So, let me just see if I can put it on the screen for the audience to see. Basically, this guy got in a lot of, how should I put it? A lot of conundrums that was easily avoidable. So yeah. I'm not you don't really have to be an expert in the judicial system to know that when you have a court date, whether it's on Zoom or not, you're supposed to appear in a suit and you're supposed to be ready to talk to the judge.
Yeah, there's a certain expectation of decorum when you deal with a judge.
Yeah, like you can't just be caught in your t-shirt driving around town and telling the judge, yeah, just a minute, judge. Just a second, I'm pulling right now. Chotomate, judge. Chotomate. Yeah, no. So you can see it on the face of the judge. He doesn't really appreciate this type of behavior. But he lets it pass because the man says, well, I gotta go to the doctor. Pulling over to the doctor. And the judge is like, oh.
Yeah. He could be running late. He could have had an issue. You know, there could have been extenuating circumstances. He gave at that point he had given him the benefit of the doubt because he was already driving while distracted, which is already a no-no in that state. So
yeah. so basically, what ends up happening is that the judge looks at starts looking into him a little bit more, right? Like the judge had more time basically given to him. And finds out that the guy doesn't have a driving license, that his driving license is suspended.
Yeah, that was the first.
Yeah. So the judge goes like, "Well, you're going to go to prison now, and you're going to go to the nearest police station, and you're going to say that you're going to prison. You're going to turn yourself in, basically."
Yeah, your bond is revoked. You have until 6 p.m. to turn yourself into the local sheriff's office. Yep.
Yeah. So that's that, right? Becomes internet celebrity. Everyone memes this guy. But then it turns out that, well, actually, he did have a driving license, and the court made a glitch. Yeah. That was the story, right?
Glitch 1.
so I'm like, well, hold on a little bit. It's like, if he did have a driving license, when the judge said that he didn't, why didn't he just show it? It's like, judge, I have it right here. What the fuck, you know? Mm-hmm. But he said it's due to the fact that he was trying to get medication for his wife, so he wasn't in the right space. But even I found it difficult to buy that. It's like, it doesn't matter what type of state of mind you're in. The moment you're threatened with prison time, you just snap back into the correct state, you know?
Yeah, you like focus on the now, you know?
Yeah.
To be zen and shit there. You wanna go Buddha, do it on your own time. When you're dealing with the court, be attentive.
Yeah, like the moment like, okay, you're driving to your wife and you're not treating the judge seriously, but the moment you're like, yeah, jail time, you're like, whoa, hold on, what? The driving license? Here, it's right here. So I found that sus. Like, why didn't he show it? But like, okay, fine, I guess it happened. Now he's in the news again. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this man just won't leave my channel alone. Like, apparently, he didn't have a license at all. And people are like, well, hold on a little bit. If he didn't have a license, how did it get suspended? Well, apparently in Michigan, if you commit a traffic violation while not having a license, it gets suspended even if you don't have it. And what this means is that if you pass the exam, if you get a new license, you can't get it until the suspension expires.
Oh, it's a bit more complicated than that, V. I can tell you more about it if you want to.
All right. Then tell me the state of Michigan. How do they do things over there?
So in Michigan, you have, beyond having a license, right? And having the license allows you to use your method of conveyance for whatever means that you deem necessary within the scope of the law.
Yeah.
However, if you're an adult and you're in good standing with the court, you have what's called a right to the road. You have a right to convey yourself for the purpose of maintaining your home, going to important appointments, and getting specific important things done with a couple of exclusions, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of states actually have this stuff, but he never had a license. He only had an ID, and the ID only gives him the right to road, which is only for absolutely specific and important things that he has to do. The reason why he was actually in court was because he had done a violation and his right to the road was also revoked.
Oh.
So he had no business being on the road at all.
And is the right to road like something you're going to the doctor, your wife is
Yeah,
pregnant?
if he was going to the doctor, that is a legitimate use of his right to be able to maintain his himself and his home.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't have that right, which was the original purpose of that. Like the whole glitch was that the case got miscategorized, I guess you could say.
Misgendered,
but the real deal was that well, I mean, yeah, but the whole system basically fucked up. It was a snafu from the start to the end, because the original reason was that his I use the term right to road because that's the way that they put it in the jurisprudence, but there's a specific term in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the one that was originally revoked.
Yeah. I see now. I actually felt bad for this guy, which is why I made the correction, because I was thinking, dude, imagine becoming an internet meme when it's not your fault, because like a lot of people won't see the correction. And they're going to think like you're a complete dumbass. Like, why show yourself in front of a judge with a suspended license? And he even said that. It's like, well, now my church is going to laugh at me. And I'm like, oh, come on, dude. It's like, oh, don't pull the heartstrings.
He shouldn't have been playing games. I mean, it's just a different level of the fuck around and find out chart.
Should have listened to Jesus and thou shalt not lie and bear false witness.
That's actually a really good point. That's 2 commandments. Don't break the law while you're breaking the law. don't break the commandments that way either. Come on, that's 2 in 1 shot. Damn it.
Yeah. Now there was another thing which happened last week, and this one is hilarious. Adobe got itself in hot water. Yeah. So there is this trend now, which is really annoying, and unfortunately I don't see it getting legislated against. Like, people are talking about the right to repair and they are pushing legislation for it, but this bullshit, like, I'm so glad it doesn't fly in Europe. The idea of you buying a product, right? So you buy something, whether it's a smart TV or it's a program, it doesn't matter, you're buying it and you agree to certain TOS. And after you install it, you put the smart TV on your wall, you drill the wall, it's in your house, boom, new patch update. And if you don't agree with that one, it bricks your TV.
Yeah, and they're not just little changes, right?
Yeah.
They're fundamental changes to the nature of the data collection, the service level agreement between yourself and the company in some cases, and even in some that happened a couple of years before the USA and the EU locked down on it. They were sneaking in binding arbitration clauses inside the EULA without notifying people.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but you see that you see that in video games as well. Like, you have a video game coming out and it's advertised in one way, you get a trailer for it, and then boom, day one censorship patch. And it's like so disingenuous. Like you see what the companies are doing. Like, they're baiting the customer. In the case of Skullgirls, actually, like they put a censorship patch that censored even the box art of the game years after release, right? So it's this principle of you buy a product, you know what it is, and then years later they can change it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the case of Adobe, and we noticed this with Microsoft to an extent, we'll talk about Microsoft later. They basically stated initially, like, a lot of people didn't know about this, but they can actually scan everything you do, right? And apparently, like, there's a legal requirement. Like, if it's in the cloud, they have to scan for, child porn and, like, I guess in the EU, maybe hate speech and stuff like that. They have to, like, scan for illegal shit. Like, that is mandated by the law. But they went even beyond that. They went to the point where they're stating now that once it's in the cloud, they have rights to that, and they can manually review it. So this brought the question, it's like, hold on a little bit. Like, what if I'm working on a movie? Or what if I'm working on something with an NDA? Like, I know, like, the NDA is fine like the contract is fine with like Adobe looking for a review. But like, what if I'm the owner of the IP and I literally don't want anyone besides the people that are in production to be able to see it until it's released to the public? So like if I'm making I'm Disney and I'm making the new, I don't know, Snow White or whatever, right? And I don't want people to know that I'm working on this project. I want it to be kept in secret until I publicly announce it. You're basically saying that, if an artist works on Adobe, then that can actually go into Adobe's database. And if someone hacks the Adobe database, then they can actually see the project. Like that's insane.
Yep. Well, I mean, not only that, take a look at what Grums put down in the first picture where it says 4.2 licenses for your content.
Mm-hmm.
In the second row, there's a little cluster of words that are super important. Non-exclusive, worldwide, royalty-free, sub-licensable.
Yeah,
that means they want an unlimited, no rights reserved.
Yeah.
License to everything that you.
Yeah. So basically, there was the guy that made the World of Warcraft movie pointing this out, right? So they would have license to parts of the World of Warcraft movie. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? I mean, it's fucking insane.
They would have the capability of taking clips from it and using it basically however they want.
Yeah. I mean, they could literally have it like on their website, right? Now the thing is, they will obviously not use it as such, right? Like they're not going to fuck with like a World of Warcraft company. But the way I see the companies do these things is that first they sneakily put it in, and then they just leave it there. They don't activate it. It's just there, And after a couple of years, like people get used to it. They're like, oh, it's fine, and then they activate it. And when people complain, they're like, well, it was always there. Like you just violated the TOS. Like you should have known.
Yeah. It's been in there for years.
Yeah, it's been in there for years.
Why didn't you say something sooner?
Yeah, exactly.
You had all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you wanted to protest the creation of the interstellar bypass, you should have went to the basement door of the third closet on the left.
Why are you a hypocrite? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, literally.
Exactly.
Not like I've seen it so many times, right? And this is why people are upset now, and there's a lot of people canceling. Now, apparently what's happening is that Adobe's stock is going down. And it has been going down for a while. So they're trying to push for their new AI. And a lot of artists that really despise AI, especially in sub-communities and stuff, who live from commissions, they don't want their work to be trained on AI, right? But Adobe doesn't give a fuck. Like Adobe is like, no, it's like Adobe. We're going to trade our AI on your art for free, right? So this is why like a lot of people are upset.
Well, of course. I mean, even on the corporation side, right? That means that all of these companies have gone through and put in all of this investment and time and effort and even like finding and training resources, and suddenly Adobe can just get a copy for free because reasons.
Yeah. V, how hard did you vote, Our? So Our is the extremist party in Romania, and the European Union has some extremist problems, and I think extremist problems require extremist solutions. So, but like they did something in Romania that I didn't like. The paper for the voting was so thin that when you put the stamp on one side, it's very hard to see to tell if it's not on the other side as well. So basically, someone that's
a lot of bleed through, eh?
Yeah. Like someone that wants to count the vote incorrectly can do so now, and basically they can always have the excuse. It's like, well, I just didn't see. Like to me, it seemed as if So I find it a little bit sus. The thin quality of the voting paper was very very. Here in Europe, we got more than two parties, right? It's not like Democrat and Republican. Like you have,
you guys have like a list of like 15, 20 candidates. You got to
so like categories. Imagine the situation where you have like the Democrats on one side of the paper and the Republicans on the other, right? So you put your stamp on Democrat, and then the person counting the vote can count it as a Republican because they say, well, look, the bleed through, like this is how I thought that the stamp looks like.
The reverse is also possible.
The reverse is also possible. Yeah, but like now think that you have
the person who's counting the goddamn vote, right?
Yeah.
If they suddenly decide to see that it's on the wrong side.
Yeah, that's my point, right?
Conveniently.
Yeah, that's my point, because you can conveniently just say, oh, well, I'm a Republican and I'm going to count the votes, and you can just, choose to count them the way you want, and you always have like the benefit of the doubt, saying that, well, this is how I seen them. Like, look, it's the stamp is this way, and it's just how it looks. Yeah.
We had so many to go through. We were going through so fast. I guess I was just so tired.
Yeah, and even then, it's like, okay, which one do you have umbrage with? Like, which one? And it's like, well, I mean, to me, it looks like, I mean, come on, maybe you're the one that's being, right?
Yeah, so, that was like when I was way younger, we had that kind of a scandal in Canada for a little bit with one of the like way older candidates. Nothing recent, but still, they were like, oh yeah, with just all these ballots for some reason just got skipped. Oops.
American Outlier. Hi, Viadores. Hope your day's going good. Well, it's going great so far.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so back to Adobe. Like a lot of people are upset, and it's not just like random users. It's people from companies. There are a lot of people that from the gaming industry. Like they find it unacceptable.
Yeah.
So
it was already bad enough when, like, already one thing a lot of people don't really run into because most people don't go around scanning currency into Adobe, but Adobe already does a form of live content, I guess you could say observation, just like a lot of photocopiers do and such as well. They already have the capability of looking straight into what you're doing, and that was already a problem for some people as it was. And now this is a whole other level of overreach. So yeah, of course companies are gonna freak out about it, rightfully so.
So Adobe knows if you're drawing the furry porn?
Well, I mean, I don't think they have specifically an algorithm just for that. But they definitely know if you're doing anything with currency. Like,
no, but seriously, right? Like, think about it. Like, what do people use the AI the most? The one that, like Midjourney, right? It's like, draw me... Like, they're in various fandoms, right? And it's like, draw me the Basti Night Elfu. Draw me the Overwatch Chica, right? And if like a lot of artists that draw these fan arts, they use Adobe. So like Adobe can definitely have like one of the best AIs in the market for this.
Well, as far as image referencing goes, just because of how many professionals use it, they definitely have one of the deepest repositories to be able to reproduce specific types of content.
Yeah.
Like, imagine people like all of the guys that did all of the World of Warcraft art, like during the golden age, right?
Yeah.
All of that shit was all Adobe, and it was all part of the training like the actual training package that they fed into the LLM.
Oof.
Yeah.
Apparently they know if you're scanning currency. I didn't know that.
Yeah. There are all sorts of things that happen if you try to scan currency on any sort of modern photocopier or any photocopier beyond 2004 or so. Yeah.
So what you're saying is make sure the laptop is unplugged.
No, that's not enough. Like, if in some cases, like the Adobe can, the Photoshop software can lock itself down. Your photocopier can start dialing out if it has access to a facsimile line.
Jesus, really? That's so cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, Epson had a problem with had a problem with a firmware that was dialing out to an old number to warn people when they were trying to print currency. That was old, like 2004 or 5 stuff.
Yeah. I didn't know that. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah. Some crazy shit already built in PCs. Really crazy shit, to be honest.
Yeah. So the other scandal is about Windows. Now this one is even more creepy. Apparently, Windows wants this feature that will constantly take screenshots of your computer, like what you're doing, nonstop. And the idea is to roll back, right? So like your computer breaks, like you get a virus or some shit, and you can roll back to the point in time that you want. Or if you deleted a file, like it will be able to replicate it. So you just type in the search function brown bag, and if you actually open the file on your computer, like it will know to go to that file.
Yep.
And I mean, the invasion of privacy is off the charts because people are pointing out, well, hold on, like if I put my bank account and I put my credit card information, like, do they know it? And apparently, yes, they do. So
not only will they know it, it is stored in a location on the drive which is unencrypted.
Yes.
Not protected by any sort of software-defined perimeter. So
the problem, the problem is, okay, well, let's say that I trust Windows because obviously Microsoft is one of the most trustworthy companies on earth. They would never. But like, what if someone hacks it? And it's like, well,
Well,
tough
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only is the question, what if someone hacks it? The service which allows Microsoft to connect to whatever, or to that is collecting, in this case it's Copilot, that service is always on.
Yeah.
So you have to block a specific port to make sure that nothing outside of your network gets in. And that's not assuming that an enterprising like an enterprising motherfucker online isn't already capable of getting into your network and just swapping ports, right?
So I just want people to understand.
It's a huge security problem.
Yeah, but like literally everything you do on your computer, like
Yes.
absolutely everything, right?
Every keystroke,
Yes.
every copy and paste, every screenshot, every image you download, every URL you visited, every part of the window you clicked. You can even demacro certain steps that you did on certain programs if you want to. Like, if the program is able to connect to Windows on that level, it can keep track of your individual actions and undo the actions.
Yeah.
Like, it can completely forensically reproduce everything you did. So that means it must capture everything that you did.
So basically, like, yeah, like all of your social security numbers, bank information, but even then, it's like blackmailing information, right? So like, if you are married and you talk with an ushikushi waifu on the side, like a
Yeah.
hacker getting access to that, like that's blackmailing stuff. Porn sites, right? Like if you're a politician or anyone, like even vanilla porn is enough to ruin a reputation.
Yeah, if you have an internal like share drive that has an administrative share, and then anyone who's inside your internal network can just browse and go into that directory afterwards, because it is an unencrypted directory. It has no capability outside of just standard Active Directory shit to prevent people from getting in, and it has to be permissionless in order for it to work correctly. So, what do you do if someone unscrupulous is on your network and just goes straight for that fucking? Everyone's gonna
Yeah.
go straight for that folder.
Hate
Like,
speech? Any edgy memes that you posted? I mean, in Britain there have been
anything.
people arrested for rap lyrics, right? And even then, like think about the companies that want to map society, and they're like, okay, how many Republicans do we have? Like, how many people are pro-life? How many people are pro-death? How much money would they be willing to pay for that data? And why would Microsoft not sell it?
Well, the data, first of all, would be a hell of a lot more precise,
Yeah.
right? And precision is massive, massive value when it comes to big metadata. So
Yeah. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in profit, if not even more.
easily hundreds of millions.
Rating term, V, did you know that Dev is a diaper fur? Well, that explains why he dislikes anime girls.
No shit.
Jesus Christ. Is he though? No, you're gas. You know, this is slander. I do not believe that Dev is a diaper fur. That would be no.
He is an alleged diaper fur.
Well, I want to see where this is coming from. This is just, but I've been saying for years now that the worst spyware on the internet is the Windows update.
Yep, and now we are back to Bonzi Buddy level, like open up your back door, let anyone come into your house, block party style, no security, no frills bullshit.
I'm unironically like curious if there's like there are Trojans out there. There's malware out there that I would rather install than Windows. With this feature, then I think about it. Like this feature is just
it's a little out of scope.
A little out of scope, yeah, just a little.
By a little, I'm trying to understate the issue.
And it's also crazy. Something that people didn't ask for, right? Because they're like trying to market it that you actually want it. Like no one wants this.
I mean, goddamn, man, you can already configure Windows to hold the last 10 copy and pastes you did just natively. Like, what the hell more do you need? Who even needs this shit?
I can even think of like ways you can get someone in trouble, right? Like if you go to someone's computer and you find like naked picture of their girlfriend or some shit, and then it gets leaked to the public, like that can be classified as revenge porn.
Yes, you can, absolutely can.
You can get someone arrested with this shit. It's like,
yep. And it really begs to ask, right? The whole cui bono thing, right? Who actually benefits from this? Because it's definitely not is definitely not the average user. The average user goes through so many like control. Think of how many times you use like copy and paste in a
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Like most of that shit's going to be absolutely trash. It only serves to be archived.
yeah.
And you're not going to go through your copy and paste from 3 weeks ago. Someone who's interested in learning everything about what you do, it certainly will, though.
Do you know what's interesting though? You used to be able to just say no to Windows updates, like if you wanted
Yep.
to.
Yep.
Now there was a time when they would just constantly bug you, like every morning if you didn't update, it would be like, like you didn't update. Do
You
you
have
wanna?
critical updates to
Yeah,
patch one of our big day zero security holes.
yeah. Now they don't even do that. Now what they do is they ask you, do you want to update? And you have like, I will update in 3 days, or I'll update now.
Yeah.
So like it gives you.
I've woken up to my PC having been rebooted for some reason overnight, and it wasn't due to a blue screen.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask it to, and I'm the kind of guy who just leaves all of my Blender shit opened up in the background, right? So.
Yeah. Like there have been like now the update is mandatory. You can't say no to it.
Yeah, and you can't say no to the undiscovered. I'm using air quotes here. Undiscovered security issues that come along with some of these updates.
Yeah. So is there like I understand that there's two reasons why Windows isn't going to roll this up yet. Number one, the processing power required for it is a lot higher. So like it's going to clog your CPU.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine this. Like how the fuck is this not malware is beyond me. But anyway, right.
I don't know. It's gonna soak up your RAM too, and like I don't think they're gonna roll it out at the start because I think it would disqualify too many people from the update from Windows 10 to Windows 11 because they're gonna want to, kick as many people in that automated process. What they usually do, like your PC's eligible, tee hee smile, and then they kind of force the update on you.
And then there have been many complaints, so they're going to back down a little bit, but I think like they're going to try to push it anyway. I think like it's way too much money that they invested in this.
It's way too much money for them to be able to have it because then they can have things like, hey, can you opt in to allow us to run telemetry on the stuff that you do for, just to make sure that we can better qualify your user experience in the future, aka, can we take a look at everything that you do so that we can send tailored ads your way? Smile.
Yeah.
So we know what's going on. We know what they're doing. They want access to be able to create a product that they can then cultivate to sell to their other freaking ad companies and all of that shit.
And even the governments, man. Like, if they want to crack down on something, like, let's say you get another Occupy Wall Street and they want to crack down on the leaders, they can just pay Microsoft. It's like, hey, give us a list of names of people that are part of the leaders of this movement.
Yeah.
And, like, they would be able to do it. But it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, like nightmare scenario, right? Let's say you're an unwitting or unaware person, and you have like I don't know, you're unionizing your shop, all right? Like your big boss is a baddie, and you're gonna mega unionize. You're gonna do it all right, all that shit, right? You got all the best interests in the world, and you're running your list through, say, Microsoft Word at home, and there's someone that pays a private eye or some shit like that, gets all of your shit run through an AI, and they just say, can you find us anything that would indicate to us all of the people who are also in that place? Like, say you're working at Lockheed Martin or whatever, and suddenly AI can just go through your entire fucking history on your PC.
Yep.
And look through, and identify the image, and it could be just a snapshot with a phone, right?
Man,
it doesn't even have to do OCR.
Yeah, like think
crazy.
about think about your kid, man, and like your kid can go on PC and he can be an edgelord, a cheeky little shit online, and then he gets arrested at the age of 16 because he posted some edgy memes or some shit.
Yeah, the unblinking eye literally set above us at all times.
So fucking bizarre. But anyway,
it's straight up first wave dystopian, man.
Yeah.
Straight up first wave dystopian.
Gabriel Narta, thank you for the 10 Romanian currency. Did you perform your civic duty today? Yes, I went and I voted.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was voting day.
It was for the local elections though, for the mayors.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I just want my current mayor to fuck off. I don't like him. Didn't fix the dog problem. Like there was a dog problem that he was supposed to take care of it. Didn't do it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, wild dogs.
Yeah, like stray dogs. Like every single fucking year, someone is bitten to death by a dog. Like usually it's a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, you know, and they're stray dogs. Like they belong to no one. So it's the city hall's job to find the solution for this shit.
I mean, it's a goddamn disease problem at the least.
Yeah, so I called the dog catcher and I'm like, well, there's a couple of dogs here. Like, can you fix it? And it's like, well, you're kind of too far away. And it's like, well, what can I do with it? Well, you can't really catch and move it away because it's illegal. You can't do anything to hurt it because it's also illegal. You can adopt it. I'm like, no, I don't want a dog. Like, I'm not interested. Like,
wild dog. Yes, that's that.
Like I'm not interested. It's like I'm a cat lover. I like cats. I don't appreciate dogs. It's like I don't have anything against them. Jesus Christ. It's just that I don't want them on my property. Get off my property.
You're about to have a kid. The last thing you want is to become one of the statistics.
Oh well, it wasn't the pit bull, so there's that.
Yeah, Pitbull XL. Yeah.
But like, honest to God, every single time I say that I do not appreciate pit bulls, there's like a group on the internet that's like, it's even worse than the people that like VTubers. Yeah,
they're nanny dogs.
You know, if you say some shit about a VTuber, like you get like the entire VTuber community rabid up your ass, you know.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing with pit bulls. Yeah, it's the same thing with pit bulls. Like the only difference though. Is that when you talk shit about a VTuber, you get like all the incels, you know, the weebs and stuff, like coming up your ass. But when you talk shit about a pit bull, it's all these single women with no eggs that come at you like screaming and screeching. It's like, oh, don't you understand that like a pit bull is actually cute? And it's like, look how adorable it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there are. Well, I mean, I'm sure there are. I've seen some that are well behaved, but I mean, statistics are fucking statistics. They're not at the top of the list of violent deaths.
Oh my fucking god! You get like the liberal dog lovers going. It's like, well, actually, all dogs aren't created equal, and you know, like if you say that the breed is, it's about the owners. If you say that the breed is the issue, you're a Nazi. Like you believe in genetics. Oh my god.
Well,
and it's like
humans and animals aren't created exactly the same. You know,
but it's not only that. Like okay, if you have a Chihuahua. And the Chihuahua wants to murder you, right? Like I'm pretty sure it would appreciate, you know, like biting your neck off or something. It's a fucking Chihuahua. You can just kick it away, right? Like you can literally, even if it's angry, if it's perking up, you can just like kick it away and you've solved the problem. If it's a fucking,
at worst you bleed to death from an ankle wound or something.
Yeah, but like if it's a fucking pit bull and it's angry at you, well, you're kind of fucked, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a bit different, but like it's not about like that's the whole thing, right? It's not about genetics. It's about the goddamn construction of the brain.
It's right? Also but yeah.
What do you do? It's the same reason why you can't domesticate zebras.
But I can tell you something else as a person that bred cats. You know, some people are batshit insane. Like it doesn't matter, you know, like where they come from. Like it doesn't matter if they're like having the perfect childhood and had the perfect life experience and everyone loves it. They're just fucking sick, you know?
Damn right.
Animals are like that as well. Like you can have an animal that's raised perfectly in a loving home, loving environment, but it just like has something in the brain that makes it chimp out, like for no fucking reason.
Yeah, just I mean, French word is comportement. It's just the nature of its behavior. I don't really know how that translates straight up into English, but
well, I know in Romanian what you just said.
Like
behavior.
Like if you have a clutch of cats and one cat is always outside.
Yeah.
Right? It's not because of the breed, it's just that's how it is, right?
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to tell people. It's like accountability for the owner. Like sometimes the owner can do literally everything right. Everything by the book. And just the dog is mental, you know? And if it's a terrier and you have like a mental terrier, well, it just gets easily handled. But if it's a pit bull and it gets mental, well, you're kind of fucked.
Hey, thank you, Mike. That's the right word. Deportment. Yeah.
Deportment.
And yes, Solid Slug, le français.
Thank you, SRC Baker, for the 5 memberships. I appreciate them.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's see. We went through Microsoft. We went through the pit bulls. Oh, there's another super chat. I believe it's usually called the socialist V. Oh yeah, like you see, like socialists have normal behaviors, like upbringings. Like no one is mean to them, no one is cruel, and yet look how they end up. Want to steal your shit, Oris. That's why I don't like socialists. They want to take away your shit.
They want the milkshake.
Yeah. Philadelphia Pride descends into chaos as attendees has massive punch-up on the street ball. The Pride March was disrupted by the pro-Palestine protest.
What in the world is even going on? On one side, you've got Palestine, on the other side, you have Palestine against gays. What the hell is going on?
It's like they're all left-leaning groups, right? But it's like the virtue signal. It's like our virtue signal is stronger. No! Our virtue signal is even stronger. Our virtue signal has priority. No! Homophobe! Islamophobe! Ah!
You can't even call it blue on blue action, man. This is like blue on purple. What the fuck's going on?
Well, I can explain. Like, if you look at what people call woke ideology, right? Like, intersectional feminism is the roots of it.
Yeah.
But they're getting, like, groups that can't stand each other to work with each other, usually by having a common enemy, the straight, cisgender white man, you know, the patriarchy, the evil United Snakes of America. Like, that's... Yeah.
It's hyper siloing of specific ideals, and everything that's not exactly your ideal is automatically like a hyper enemy, right?
Yeah.
It's like you hate them just because they're there.
So this is basically what happens when the white man isn't there. Like when they don't have the boogeyman, when they don't have that cisgender white man that they need to hate, and you just have like the groups in an environment without that. Well, this is what you get.
It's an echo of the. Remember before it was like LGBTQIA plus and like the extra letters, right? In a bunch of years ago, we'll say like 10, 15 years ago, the rainbow was a rainbow, but the amount of letters was less, right? But even then, within that circle, you could already see when those groups were already against each other. Like sometimes the bisexuals weren't considered part of it, and then there was like, if you're not exactly this kind of lesbian, you don't exactly qualify. Like they're already waiting. They're already waiting to tear apart their own.
Yeah,
it's like they have to have if they're not given a like, it's like having, you know, you throw a piece of meat to the piranhas.
Yeah.
If the piranhas don't have a piece of meat to go after, they go after each other.
There's also like another aspect to this. A lot of these individuals are allowed to be cheeky little shits in public without consequences. Like
yeah, they can hide behind the flag.
Yeah, like if you're on social media and you know, you're a cheeky little shit. Like for instance, on Twitter there used to be a time when hashtag yes all men was trending, or hashtag all men are rapists was trending, and I'm like, if you said that about any other group, you'd immediately get banned, right? But like, you have these people that were allowed to spew hateful rhetoric everywhere they go, so they're used without getting pushback, and when they do it to another group on the left, that's also allowed to say that without any consequence. Well, you got the shit show, right? Because like no one is going to back down. Like they're not trained to de-escalate. They're trained to constantly hype it up. By the way, go on.
It's like it always feels like that rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah, literally, it's privilege.
Right? Like
it's privilege.
And then they try to say to white people, like, check your privilege, and it's like, well, wait the fuck, hold on a second here.
You know, I saw the lady from Mexico, like, she was supporting, I think, SQ2 LGBTQIA, and I'm like, you know what? That's such a fucking good password, though.
It is.
That's such a fucking good
It needs the length. It's long enough to consent. It's complex enough to consent. I mean, that's a good password.
Well, I'm not going to use it because I said it on stream, so everyone is going to try it. But like, if you're listening to this stream, right? Like, people don't know who you are. And you can actually try it, you know, like go and make your password 2SQ LGBTQIA plus. Yeah, it's like actually really good. No one is going to figure it out. And I guarantee to you, it updates. Like, it updates every year or so. Like, when the company goes like, hey, your password is kind of old. You need to update it. And you're like, okay, well, what does the LGBTQ community calls itself nowadays? And they're looking at
let's update the acronym to current year. I don't know, man. I wish we could have people around the world that critically think a little bit and realize that subdivision is weakening one's position,
But they
not
want that,
strengthening
like
it.
that. No, but that's literally what happened. You have Occupy Wall Street, and some people thought what you just said, and it's like, okay,
Oh
well,
yeah,
it's like, how can we weaken these people? All right, identity
yeah.
politics. Oh, what a great idea.
Well, that's why suddenly it became such a $1 billion goddamn operation overnight. Like identity politics went from not being spoken of ever to being like what, $700 million per year in lobbying. Like holy shit.
Yeah. So
Like that's a lot of money. Like when Deloitte can pick it up on an audit, you know you're onto something.
this one, speaking of audits and shit, like this one, just reading it makes me laugh. E-Trade is considering kicking Roaring Kitty. Just like you read it in the news, in the
Oh,
financial.
are they gonna complain that he's like manipulating the?
Yes, yes. So for those, I mean, I think everyone knows because I covered it. The GME stock. Now, the GME stock, to basically explain it incredibly easy for people that don't trade and don't know anything about stocks. Short selling is when you know a stock is going to fail, and you basically lend the stock before it fails. You sell it to some moron that buys it from you, and once the stock fails, you buy it back cheaper, so you make the profit on how much you sold it for. Yeah,
you're making a promise to buy it at a lower rate.
yeah. But you have to give it back, right? Because it's a lend. Like you don't actually buy the stock; you just lend the stock. Is this like a way you can explain it to people that don't know anything about financing and still make sense?
Yeah, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So when you're saying, so the whole thing about naked shorting, right? When you're shorting, you're basically saying like, I bet you that over this amount of time, this stock will be worth this much, and as long as no one else steps in to say, hey, I want this stock, you're not caught with the bag, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to bet so that the stock of the value goes down. You're betting against the company so that when the stock goes down past the point of your purchase, you make money on that purchase.
I think the best way to describe it is like, okay, you have a car, and I know for sure that your car is going to be worthless in 1 year because like some flaw is going to be exposed and no one will want that car, right? So I lend the car from you, I sell it to someone else at the current price, then the thing is exposed and your car is now worthless. I buy it back from the guy that I sell it, and I give it back to you.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of like that.
At a price.
Now, yeah.
The person who is the one left outstanding is the one who has to pay the difference in price.
The problem happens, like what happens if I lend the car away from you for 1 year, and then the value does drop or whatever, but I can't give it back, right? So if I'm wrong, basically, like if I'm wrong and the car actually increases in value, and I can't give it back to you, then I can be in debt indefinitely.
Yes, and you can get, and just to be clear, as we're proceeding here, none of this is like investment or trading advice. This is just discussion of a situation and his opinion only. Right?
Yeah,
Always do your own research before doing anything of the sort.
Yeah. No,
So
I'm just
the whole thing is that there can be what's called a call. Let's say someone bets against a company and they say, yeah, we will absolutely buy these stocks at a value, but the price doesn't drop. You're still on the hook for what you promised to buy if someone is still interested in proceeding with the trade, which is the situation that Roaring Kitty, aka Deep Fucking Value, is actually in the process of putting other people in.
Yeah, so basically
GME,
hold on, let me tell the story from the political aspect, right? Like during the pandemic, during COVID, the politicians, they decided to save our lives, save grandma, lock down the economy. And the hedge funds, they went like, okay, well, if they're locking down the economy, then these corporations like GameSpot, I think it was also movie theaters, they're going to go, they're going to go under because like everyone is stuck in their homes. They're not able to go see a movie. They're not able to rent a video game. So we can short sell these companies. Now what they did is that they short sold them to like 300%. Like it was like an insane amount of short selling. Like the greed was there, right? So it's also like insider knowledge in a way, because like they knew that the politicians will do this. It wasn't like, oh, this is the open market and we know that these companies are going to fail. No, it's like, oh, legislation is going to be passed in order to just lock down the economy. Then if we know that in advance, we can short sell these companies and make money.
Yeah. They attempted to do an infinite money glitch, and they got caught.
Yes, like they got caught by Reddit. So you have like this guy, Deep Fucking Value, aka Roaring Kitty. And he sees that these companies are buying these stocks, so he did as well. But he is not selling his stock. And these companies...
Yeah, he didn't short, he purchased.
He purchased. And these companies desperately need that stock in order to give it back to GME. And every single moment that he holds on to the stock becomes more valuable. He's now a billionaire. Mm-hmm. Like, these hedge funds really, really need that stock. Because every single day that they don't have the stock, they have more money to pay. Like, they're basically going deeper and deeper in debt to the point where one hedge fund actually collapsed, I think.
Yes, they did.
So, what ends up happening now is that the third-party programs, what was it called? Robinhood at the time, like these interfaces that average people can trade with, they shut down GME and saying that, oh, we want to protect people because people don't know how to trade and they make mistakes with volatile stock and we care so much about people. In other words, when people are making money, they're very concerned. But if you are losing your money, if you're losing your household, then all of a sudden they don't care, right? So now it's E-Trade that is considering kicking Roaring Kitty because he keeps buying the stock.
Yeah, well, I mean, he saw an opportunity. He saw that, basically, it's like when you're playing like a huge board game and you see one guy setting up everything on one side of the board and you come in on like just behind his defense and you give him a jab. You're basically getting behind the Maginot Line. So
yeah,
like dude is doing what capitalists would do: see an opportunity, leverage it.
My favorite take is that all the people that were in favor of the hedge funds, they were like, you're only supposed to buy the stock if you believe in the company. You're not supposed to do these machinations. And I'm like, didn't the hedge funds literally short sell the stock because they knew the machinations?
Yeah, but now in order to try to I guess plug the hole, they're trying to discuss banning him completely from trading.
Yeah,
like as if he's actually, or like Roaring Kitty is doing something underhanded.
Yeah.
But it's like,
no,
I don't get it. How come other people, Congress, can trade with impunity? Like, what the hell?
Like, literally, they were complaining. It's like, oh, so you think that he's buying the stock because he believes in the company? And it's like, well, isn't that fucking irrelevant why he buys it?
Damn right.
Like, why and he goes to Congress, and like one congressman actually asked him, it's like, why do you buy GME? And he's like, I like the stock.
Yeah, it's a valid answer. And Diversity in chat is spot fucking on when he says J.P. Morgan Chase does this every single day, just as a matter of business.
Yeah, they like the stock too.
Like, no, you're not supposed to win yet again.
Zenith says, I would donate to him if I could so he can fuck over the system. Okay, well, this is actually what happened because the whole... The whole apes movement is like, ape together, strong. It was on Reddit, on a forum, where all these people got together, and they were like, yeah, we hate hedge funds, so we're going to send the stock to the moon. Right? Because the more expensive GME gets, the more money the hedge funds have to pay, and it actually can drive them out of a business. So... the people on television were fucking desperate. Like you had like all these articles coming up in the same day. It was so fucking obvious, and they were like, if you're buying GME stock, now is the time to sell. You gotta sell now because later you won't make a profit. Now is the time. Like, look, if I have one word, it's like you need to sell. By the way, this is not financial advice. This is parody, okay? And eventually they were saying it's like only idiots are going to hold to the stock. And people on Reddit, it's like, we are dumb, we are apes, but apes together.
We're banana.
Yeah, apes together, strong.
What was the name of that asshole that was always talking about the stocks? I think it was on CNN or NBC or something like that. And everything that he was saying was going completely tits up.
Oh my fucking god, like there was this guy from JP Morgan and Chase that got punked by O'Keefe, like the one that goes with the hidden camera, you know?
Oh yes.
James O'Keefe, yeah. and they catch this guy, and he's working at JP Morgan, and he's talking about the guy you are talking about, and he's like, if you want to be good in finance, listen, what you need to do is to listen to that guy and do the exact opposite. Every single time. Just do the exact opposite.
Fucking gay. Holy shit.
Yeah, just but like
I think Kramer's the guy, Hunter.
Yeah, he did make a point that it's like, why would CNN be interested in educating people about finance? Like, what would there be to gain? Like, if you want a financial advisor, you need to pay one. And if you don't pay one, then the question is, who is paying the financial advisor you're listening to, and what interest do they have? Because they certainly don't have your interest in mind.
Like, when it gets to the point where Kyle Reeves takes a goddamn goldfish, puts it in a bowl in order to select stocks, and it does better than Kramer. Like, that's all I need to know about the universe as it is.
No, but like, think about it, right? If you actually were really good at finance, right? Like, you were able to predict as accurately as humanly possible what goes up and what goes down, right? Now, if you were to tell it to everyone, they wouldn't make money either.
No.
Right? Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, if you were to tell people, okay, well, this stock is going to go up, and everyone buys it, then it starts going down, right?
Well, in order for capitalism to work, or at least the stock market to work, there has to be a loser somewhere. If everyone takes the same decision, the market will fucking revolt on itself. Not revolt in the sense of a civil revolution, but the mathematics doesn't work if everyone buys the same fucking stock. It doesn't work.
Yeah, so like all these mainstream media outlets, like hiring these big brain guys. That, like, the only person that I actually listened to, and he gave some solid advice before even he fucked it up, but he fucked it up because, not that he wanted to, it just happened, was a guy called Turf-Flinging Monkey, and, like, he would give his advice to people that subscribe to his Patreon. So, like, he had the financial incentive to give good advice because he wanted subscribers.
Yep.
So, like, that makes sense. It's like, okay, well, I at least know that this person has a financial interest in not fucking it up. Like, he is committed to his subscribers. He's committed to constantly delivering on time. Because if it doesn't, then people unsubscribe from him.
Yeah, and he's not making money directly off the decisions that he's suggesting. So he has no ulterior incentive otherwise than to make subscribers.
Yeah. No, like he was calling it really well. Like, he was following politics, and he was basically saying, okay, well, the war in Ukraine is coming, so this is what's going to happen in the energy sector, and this is what's going to happen here. It wasn't like one-on-one predictions, but like overwhelmingly, if you invested in the way that he would call it, you would make money. And I think like there was a problem with the energy industry because like at some point I think like Biden released some oil reserves or some shit and he couldn't predict that, so it actually it went down. But like overall, you know, the point is, like, I'm not saying that the guy is the best person on the field. But, like, if you pay someone, if someone has, like, a financial incentive to help you, then that's completely different than seeing a guy on CNN telling you how to invest.
Yep. And the whole thing is when it comes to the point where the TV is telling you shit that's obviously against your best interest, and you can make money by taking advantage of that kind of shit, of course. Like, of course they're going to get angry. Like, Roaring Kitty, he's got their nuts in a twist. He's got, like, forced testicular torsion on these guys. So
he's still not selling. He doesn't want to sell.
That's right. No, there's no reason to, man. I mean, even with the artificial dip that they're putting into GameStop right now, right? Like, he's still got something like 400 million in the put or something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Is there going to be a point where he is invited on the board of GameStop to make executive decisions because he has so much stock?
No, that's the thing. He only has leverage. He doesn't have the stock yet.
Oh.
And they could be non-voting shares.
I see.
Right? Not all stock is created equal.
Yeah. So, it would be funny though, like if you actually had real stock and like one day you wake up like being invited to this corporate meeting and you have no idea what they're talking about, but it sounds good. And
I mean, if he likes the stock,
yeah.
You know, pull out a chair, maybe let him sit at the table.
Seriously, imagine this, right? Like you're short selling Ubisoft, right? And then you actually, like, at one point, you keep making money, you buy more stock, you make money, you buy more stock. And then you realize, oh shit, I'm now on the executive board. Like, you're not calling the shots, but you're still in the room, you know?
Yeah, and well, I guess there's some dude in chat saying that I don't like capitalism or some shit like that. Excuse me, I like capitalism just fucking fine. Thanks. I like my home. Thanks.
Rating Terror V. They did a squeeze to nickel that the government cheated. That IME got sued, and the government ruled that they can't just steal money. But yeah, in America, I noticed this trend, right? Like, if you're a big hedge fund, if you're part of like the wealthy, the Wall Streets, when you fuck up, when you go bankrupt, there's always a reset button. There's always a bailout. You know, you get to keep your profits because that's capitalism. But like when you fuck up, oh, we get a little bit of socialism in the mix. Now you get bailed out. If you're the little guy and you open a mom and pop stores and you go bankrupt, no one is bailing you out. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah. Very rare do you get any sort of a bailout unless you've got some form of a hedge fund supporting you or some shit like that.
Even when the government fucks you up, like there was this case in California, like there was this restaurant had to shut down, right, because COVID measures. Literally across the street, they were filming a movie in another restaurant, and they were part of Hollywood. Everyone was sitting at the bench, at the tables, no mask, no nothing. Actual food was being served. And, like, of course the restaurant owner is livid, because it's like, okay, this is fucking Hollywood. They have hundreds of millions of dollars. They got tax cuts. They get, like, all sorts of subsidies. And they can just do that. And I just run this restaurant in order to feed my house, and I can't do it. Like, how does that make sense?
I don't know. Even that they were allowed to just let it happen the way they did, I found that whole fucking shut down everything to be kind of ridiculous. At the end of the day, like they said it was for safety and security, but all they did was basically detonate a nuclear bomb in what was the entrepreneurial spirit of fucking USA. I mean, they're recovering now, but like way to set a whole bunch of people like 10 years back.
Yeah, but like my point is, if the government shuts down my business for whatever reason, they should bail you out. Like, they should pay for the damages that they caused. If I shut down a business, like if I go
government mandated shutdown should be compensating any business for the shutdown.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like if I go,
you are available to work and available to make money.
Yeah, if I go to your business and I open a can of surströmming, and like no one is able, yeah, like no one is able to use your business, your building for 1 week.
Ugh.
Am I not supposed to pay for those damages because I shut down your businesses? I made it inoperable for 1 week.
Yeah, arguable loss of business. So yeah.
Did you ever sniff a surströmming?
I have had to deal with people who were like, yeah, I know how to eat this, and they didn't have the bucket ready, and they decided to open a can in open air because they wanted to be macho dudes.
Wait, so you were next to them when that happened?
I was unfortunately in the kitchen, not paying attention to what they were doing.
Describe the aroma.
Well, vile comes to mind, but I would say it's like fermented cat feces.
Jesus!
Mixed in like the worst Indian curry you could ever imagine.
So for those of you who don't know, surströmming is a Swedish delicacy, allegedly.
It's a fermented fish. Like the taste, if you open it correctly and you rinse it and all of that shit, and you get past the really stinky shit, like you're supposed to open it underwater. If you can get past that, the taste is savory and kind of different, but the smell, oh my god!
Why would you want to eat that though? Like it's 2024.
I did it because it's like when you go visit the country and you're visiting like a corporate site, they do it because it's like, haha, let's get the Canadian or USA guy to eat surströmming and make him pretend like it's the normal thing that we do. So for them, it was just like, we're gonna do it as a joke, and I was like, all right, bet. But I wouldn't eat it otherwise. Like that's just it's not good enough for what it is.
Yeah, like if you're living in the 1800s and they don't have refrigerator. Like, this was a method of preserving fish. Like, they put it in a can, and the fish rots literally inside the can. And then when you open it, like, the stench is unbelievable. But, like, hey, you know, like, you're not going to starve to death during winter.
The brine keeps it stable, but...
Oh, my God. Anyway.
Yeah.
But now it's 2024. Like, we have access to refrigeration. There's no need to like, have this vile concoction. And like apparently you're supposed to eat it, as you mentioned. Like you go outside, like it's never eaten inside. You go
Never.
outside, you put it in a bucket of water, you open the can under the water, and then you're supposed to use onion or other shit to mask the taste. And I'm like, if you do that, then don't fucking eat it. Like if you have a food that you need other things to mask the taste, it's already a red flag.
That's right. Gabriel Nartea, how is it preserving if it rots? Not all things that ferment are inedible. We drink fermented like hops and wheat whenever we drink beer. It's just a different type of fermentation.
Yeah, look at this. Last year, forgot which month, they said on the news, now is the best moment to buy gold. It was already at maximum, and after 2 months, the price of gold went down.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, no, and I always said it's like buy silver, because silver is a lot easier to sell. Like, it's a lot easier to drop off, right? Like, gold is more expensive.
Well, gold is also a lot heavier.
Yeah. So, like, if you want to be that type of person that, you know, like, wants an investment, if you're American, bullets are really good. Because, like, you just buy the bullets and you can sell them, right? Like, they always have value. Like, it's not going to be a time where bullets, if in America, are going
and the
to...
value, it's like the Big Mac index. The value per box will go up in times of crisis, and the value usually remains stable and for any use of self-defense anyway.
Yeah.
So it's as long as you maintain the bullets and they don't expire or get like fucking tarnished or anything.
In Europe, where you can't buy bullets because it's illegal, the best thing to buy is property. So like land, especially. Like you just buy the land, but you need to make sure you don't buy it in a village where everyone is dying, because then the price can go down. But like as long as you have enough money, like your life savings, and you buy a plot of land, like that will always have value, right? And if
That's
you
what
want,
they tell you anyway.
yeah, and if you want something cheaper, like you want, you know, some form of currency that you can get rid of in a time of need, then silver coins is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are the go on.
Oh no, you go ahead.
There are the Bitcoin bros like, oh, why buy Bitcoin? And I never understand why they freak out when I tell them, yeah, okay, Bitcoin is nice, but like these things have been working for like thousands and thousands of years. Like there was no time in human history where land or silver did not have value, or bullets.
I'm just gonna. All you have to say is, how are you going to trade Bitcoin if you don't have access to the blockchain?
Yeah, like if the power goes down, right? Like so, for instance, in Ukraine, you have power outages.
Or you're out in a place where you don't have like LTE or you don't have a dial-up connection. Like what the fuck do you do?
Yeah, like in Ukraine right now, right? There are entire places where there's no power, right? And let's say you have Bitcoin and you want to leave. How do you access it? What do you do? Now they can say, well, yeah, but like if you have land, like someone can take it. It's like if you reach the point, but you have land and someone can take it, you're kind of fucked anyway.
Yeah, if someone's walking up to you and there's like no police response to guard your territory, and there's no control to keep like invading your shit, and you have no capability of defending it. Well,
yeah, I
mean, they can take your money out of your wallet too. Like, what are you fucking trying to prove?
Yeah, like if someone can take your land, basically it would be like a communist revolt, right? Like, so the government has fallen. You have now a socialist that it's like nationalizing everything, and in that case, like at that stage, you're kind of fucked. Right?
Yeah, you'd be getting your bug out bag and getting the fuck out of Dodge to begin.
Yeah, like you should have gone away way before that happened. Like the moment of, because even if you have Bitcoin, right? If you have like communists that nationalize everything, they're not going to let you leave the country. They're just going to put guards at the border. Yeah.
Yeah, Bitcoin is great while we have access to the cloud, because pretty much like I would say 90 to 95% of like blockchain is running on cloud. Right, so when the cloud goes down, well, no more transactions, and it's not like you can time delay your transactions. What are you gonna do? Print go to one of those Bitcoin ATMs and give a disk to someone else, and then that person can't cash it in until they too have access to the blockchain. Like, yeah, there's only so much you can do, right? It too is a currency like any other.
Honestly, the only thing that causes more spurg out than saying anything negative about Bitcoin is saying anything negative about Star Citizen.
Oh my god!
The moment you say, like, honestly, it's like the level of buyer's remorse. Well, it's not buyer's remorse. It's sunken cost fallacy, right?
Yeah,
like Star Citizen.
Gas mask copium, man.
It's so fucking deep. it almost reaches China. Like if people get a little bit more sunken cost fallacy into Star Citizen, you're going to have Chinese people investing in it. Like it's so deep, it reaches China. They released, like, hold on, you posted the article actually, and you wanted to talk about it, and we didn't do that week as stupid that week, and I was like,
700 million in total pass through.
If I talk
the private money, there's private money that he accepted in this as well now.
Okay, you know what? I'll play the devil's advocate. I'll be part of Star Citizen. You try to convince me that it's a scam, okay? Because I know all the arguments. Like, people will try to put them in the forum. I know them before you're typing it, right? So, Ors, tell me why I shouldn't invest in Star Citizen.
Because the engine that they've sank the most amount of time and energy and essence into it is already starting to look dated, and they still can't fix basic physics problems.
And that doesn't mean anything, Ors. There's a lot of games out there that have really old engines. It's all about the gameplay, you see. It's all about like that.
You're really good. You're pretty good at it.
I know.
All right, so why do new games on new engines currently done for 1/10 of the price play better and more smooth than the one that's been worked on that was supposed to be the priority and delivered in full in 2015?
Look, you don't understand, okay? Like, they just bit off more than they could chew at the time. But, like, at the time, they were really passionate and wanted to make a really great game. And it's just that they keep adding stuff up. But, like, when the game is coming out, or you gotta listen to me, when the game is finally coming out, it will blow your fucking mind. It'd be like the best game.
Will have everything they originally pledged for, plus a lot more. Chris Roberts, 2015. Like, seriously, it was supposed to be done in 2015, and it was supposed to be done in what, 2011?
No, you don't understand, okay? It's like early access. It's like early access, or you already get stuff.
I can hear you push your glasses up your nose.
I just fucking did it. I fucking did it. And it's like this, alright? Like, you already get stuff. You can already go into the game, and you can already have your little spaceships and fly around.
You can't do shit in the game, man. I've played it. I've tried to get into it. I have the Constellation package from way the fuck back. Like, I put in about 270 Canadian.
Are you a developer, or do you develop video games? It just doesn't work that way, okay? Like, listen.
Okay.
Listen.
$700 million early access, man.
You know, I'm laughing about this. But there are people that are seething, and I understand, because they spend like thousands of dollars in this shit.
Yeah, one tree. You have to at least be willing to release it before you can even say you're going to release it in a broken state. But what does it say about the game when it has states in it that have been broken for 8 years?
Okay, listen, Orange. Listen, you say that the engine is bad, but remind me how old Bethesda engine is, huh? You just hate the game. That's what you do. You don't like spaceships. You don't like.
I
just a hater.
I want that game to be true, man. I actually originally I already knew what path I was gonna do, man. I was gonna do a space repair thing with the whole Constellation and have the little repair droid, like, deployable mini ship that you can put into the Constellation and shit. And you still can't even get a real fight in. Like, you have all of these little predetermined, pre-configured fights, and the AI still is terrible. The collision detection is still terrible. Like, holy shit, man.
Why do you think? Why do you think it doesn't work though? Like, still 700,000. That's insane. Yeah, 700 million.
Creep,
sorry.
Like, there was a time, a legitimate time, where scope creep could have been a thing, right? But they haven't really added anything major. Like, you take a look at Star Citizen's roadmap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And under the scope of a roadmap, you have a lot of checkpoints and, like, milestones that you have to complete.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't added any major technology requirements, and I know that they did a big change to their navigation system, which, like, one of the developers or the creators is saying, oh yeah, well, now we've got to start thinking about remaking the race thing, because there's, like, a little, like, race minigame / experience you can have in the game, and a couple of other things on the side.
Peggy 60.
Ran out of breath. But the whole deal is if you try to measure the pace of development versus the pace of new features, there's a disconnect, right?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been delivering anything that makes like any real forward steps, right? There's no proof of progress. So if you take a look at what they had in 2015, other than a little bit of spit shine polish that they've added here and there, a lot of the fundamental core engine issues still exist, which means that they haven't been working at that level of the engine. So if they're not looking to change the fundamental bugs and issues that are at the core of the engine from which are preventing
Peggy 16.
even the start of a clean release, what the hell are they working on, and why are we not seeing anything about it?
Yeah, that's a good question, and they always say, oh well, they're working on these models, and it's like, yeah, it's almost like they're working on stuff that can give them more cash rather than working on stuff that can give them the game.
Yeah, and again, just to be devil's advocate, the arm of the company that makes models would be a different arm of the company that develops the environment, the physics system, the interpreters, and all of that shit that goes into the actual environment and quality of experience generator that's in the background, right?
Yeah.
So them monetizing that shit is its own thing, but the perception of what they do, because they put out so many packages with so many options and so many extra things you can buy. But then the product in the background, their proof of concept is there, but the proof of concept isn't evolving at a pace that seems to mirror the amount of money they're pouring out. And let's not even begin to discuss the whole Squadron 42 thing where they decided 1/3 of the way into the project to take a bunch of money, divest it into a completely different project, which distracted from the progress of Star Citizen for a bunch of fucking years for absolutely no benefit whatsoever.
From what I understand,
Squadron 42. Fuck, I got the wrong name. I think there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it mixed up with another thing.
But it doesn't matter. No, I know what you're talking about.
Right, they had a sideline project, and I feel like an idiot now. But I'll look up the name later on.
This this is also similar to that AAA porn game. What was it called? Starfield? No, not Starfield.
Oh, you mean Subverse?
Subverse, yeah. So Subverse comes out, and it's the first like AAA porn game that goes somewhat mainstream, right? Made in the West, and the
Studio
same
FOV, man.
Yeah.
FOW, I should say.
The same stuff happens. Like they take money from investors, they take money from the community, and then they just stop delivering. And you have like a lot of people doing the copium. It's weird.
Well, it was even more different than that. Like the whole Subverse thing, where they created a porn game, took money for a really raunchy porn game, and then decided at the end that, you know what, we're actually going to tone down the porn.
Yeah.
Which then caused a revolt, and that's not even counting the whole Chinese review bombing thing that happened for a while too. Then they had to walk that shit back because everyone was going nuts.
My understanding is that they got woke people in it. Like what happened is that
they did. They really got cancered out, man.
Yeah, like from what I understand, at the time, it was actually legal to talk about porn games on YouTube. Because as long as you didn't show anything, like you could talk. And I think like Subverse still has a YouTube channel. Like they didn't take it down. But they
still posting. So.
Yeah, they go on Arch's channel. And they're basically like talking about the game, and Arch is, interviewing the devs, because like no other content creator was giving them the time of day. And what ends up happening is they do this interview. It's very successful. Like they had a couple of 100,000 views. Like people were excited about it because it wasn't just a porn game, but it was also making fun of Mass Effect 3's ending, and it was making fun of video game journalists, and it was making fun of Tim Pool. Like it had a lot of memes in it, and it made it very popular. But what ends up happening is like they're told, hey, Arch is a fascist. So they go around and they're like, oh, we disavow Arch. And it's like, motherfucker, you're making a porn game. Like, what? Are you afraid of your prestige? Like, is grandma not going to talk about your game at the dinner table with the children? Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, you're already, your reputation is in shambles.
Yeah, don't
like,
Streisand this shit.
Yeah, like, you're already basically having a bad reputation.
I don't know, man. The whole Subverse Studio FOW thing is just, it's a good example of how to do a lot of things wrong when you're in the process of launching what was a very, very anticipated and well received game. Because even when you can get a really good positive thing going on even on Steam before you eventually fuck it up, you're doing it right if you can get it for a porn game. They were on the actual the top sellers chart for a while.
Yeah, and this is something that I notice a lot in the West right now. They will have a product rated for young adults, right? So 18 and up, and it has fan service in it. It's got violence in it. People really like it. They get into it, and at one point they go like, "Oh, let's drop all the fan service and insult anyone that likes the fan service." And it's like, okay, but like when you do that, it's not that you're just insulting your customers, but you're also insulting the people that use their word of mouth in order to promote your game. And it's like this obsession with like turning the fandom against you.
Yep. I mean, totally agree. It's just just an act of stupidity. What more can we say? I mean, I struggle to find the words to really explain like how dumb of a move all of that was to screw up all of that goodwill. Like, holy shit. They had the game paid for 3 times over just in the initial donations.
People are asking like, when am I going to release my game? And it's like I'm really trying. I'm trying to get a Steam page up.
The whole Steam thing, and also the other game. Are we allowed to talk about the CIEN games on YouTube here? Or?
What CIA?
Well, the CIEN game.
Oh no! Like hold on. I'll just say what I'm allowed, because I know
there's a big game. There's a big game that's releasing in the
No.
So yeah, we gotta wait for that shit.
Yeah, I gotta wait for that shit. No, I just want to talk about my game, and there are things that I can talk about even on YouTube. Like, it's fine. It's basically about the fact that we only have one person that's a coder working on it, and there's a lot of content that needs to be added. Because
and it all has to be snapped in piece by piece.
Yeah, so we added a lot of.
Stage takes a while.
Yeah, we added a lot of live 2D footage. Like there's over 3 hours of actual cutscenes in the game, which is probably what people want to buy it for. So every one of those cutscenes like takes a lot in order to add. But like the thing that we're doing right now is also waiting for the voice actors. Because, like, the voice acting is a big part of it, and we want it to feel as immersive as possible. So, it's not up to me. It's when the voice actors respond. Now, the game had to be translated into Japanese, and I got scammed 4 times. This one is not a scammer. Like, I finally got a Japanese game developer willing to do it. No, the first person it wasn't like scams that they genuinely wanted me to. Like, first guy that I found was a Japanese guy that was a friend of mine, and he agreed to do it, started translating it, but after a while he just drops off the internet. He just doesn't come back. He doesn't respond, like Discord offline. And I actually lost around 2 months with that, because I paid him and I was waiting for him to come back, and he just didn't, right? Second person was a voice actress. She said that she will do the translations as well. Stops doing them on time, and when I show it to a Japanese person, they're like, "No, her accent is really bad. Like, don't hire her."
Yeah, like they can say the syllables, but they don't string it in together right.
Yeah, third time it was an actual anime translator, like an official guy, with a company and everything. But he said, like, we only translate from Japanese to English. I never translated from English to Japanese. So if you're fine with that. Right, and again, like, he starts translating, looks good, but in the middle, like, the Japanese voice actress looks at it and it says, like, no, I can't read this. Like, this is garbage. So now I have an actual, now I have an actual Japanese game developer doing the translations, and they are good, and I actually did get the voice actors to start doing it. So, yeah, like, 4th time is the charm. If this doesn't work, I'll just not do it in Japanese. Fuck it, I'll release it just English only, no voice acting, like...
Well, we can always do what a certain other game did and release version 1 when we get out, and then, once we get a little bit of momentum, do an update with a new voice pack as part of the next update or whatever, right? Nothing says that it can be added later on, but it's getting difficult to get it all deployed out as part of the initial package, and, when we start getting to the point where we delay too much,
Yeah. Like the thing is,
benefit, right?
Yeah, like, I don't want early access. I don't want... you get the game and then you wait for patches. Yeah. I want to release a working product for an affordable price that has a lot of content. Yeah, and if later on. If I can do that, I'm fine. I'm happy. Now, if this translation doesn't work, because it's very difficult because I don't speak Japanese, right? So I need to find someone that does.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, Solid Slug, Google Translate will make you sound like a tourist.
Yeah, no, like if I translate it using Google Translate, like Japanese people will definitely recognize it and not like it.
Yep.
But anyway, right, so it didn't delay it that much, to be honest. It probably delayed it like 1 or 2 months because I wanted the voice acting before I edit the sounds in the cutscenes, but now I'm just editing the sounds and I'll put the voice acting, I'll slap it on.
Right.
So yeah, it's getting there. Like again, the Steam page is the next milestone. Hopefully, it will be up in 1 month. But I will definitely keep updating people on my Subscribestar.
Soon.
Yeah, like right now, the enemies move around the map. Like all the maps are done, all the items have it in, all the dialogue is made, all the story is made, all the art is made, all the cutscenes are made. It's just like putting them all together. That's the stage we're at.
The stitching process.
Yeah, the stitching process. Which is not difficult, it's just laborious. It just like takes a while for one person to just add everything.
It's labor.
Look at the Dragon Age trailer. Do I want to?
God.
Do I want to?
I haven't seen anything yet. I'm actually wondering if they have the ugly tree problem.
Yeah. Anyway, I know you have to go, Ors, so I'm not going to force you to look at the trailer. We'll discuss it next week.
I'm gonna watch it while I'm waiting for my players to gather at the table, and I'm sure I'm gonna giggle.
Dragon Age trailer. Well, after you leave, I'll watch it live. Holy shit! Oh my fucking god, the thumbnail! Holy fucking Christ, Jesus! Oh god!
I want to see this. Put it on screen.
Oh god! Oh, I will.
Come on,
it's like,
loot.
You know, it's Dragon Age. They could put a hot Morrigan over there, but instead they go with this.
They have options. Duh.
It's like, from the depths of California comes a new LGBTQ production filled with diversity, filled with what the Democrats want you to see, filled with what Larry Fink enjoys in his private time. Dragon Age. The
I believe the Bene Gesserit said it correctly. Abomination.
Abomination! Holy shit! Oh my god, I saw a female character. Oh my goodness gracious! Like hold on, chat. Look at this. Hold on, the female character comes up. Like, hold on. Oh, look at it. Holy shit! Oh god. I want you guys to play.
It on your screen?
No, you don't get to see it. You'll see it when you play the trailer. It's the best manly jawline you have ever seen in your fucking life. Like, I have seen manly jawlines made by these developers, but they have perfected the art. Like they are at the point where Henry Cavill looks at these women with jealousy and he's like, I wish I had that jawline. I wish I was to have the jawline of that mademoiselle from Dragon Age, because my goodness, like, women with that just get moist when I walk on the street.
What in the world?
Anyway, right, like, I'll just play it. You can hop off, because I know you're,
You know what? I bet you 10 cents this shows up on DI Detected before the next friggin' trailer comes up.
Oh my god. Which one do I get to watch? Because they're both cancerous. So, all right, I'm watching it now.
Maybe if you get 2 types of super cancer, they'll cancel each other out.
The thing is, like, the environments still look good. Like they can actually make environments. Just the people that are shit.
Yeah, I'm sure that the visual environments are going to look great, and like the models are going to be so detailed that there's going to be hair on the ears and everything, sure, but
oh my god, look how fast BioWare just disappears from the screen. They hold BioWare logo for less than a second. They're so ashamed of it. They're so disgusted with it that it's like it shows BioWare, it sits from 0.05 to 0.06 and then it just goes away.
Yeah. just long enough to be a call out.
Yeah, just long enough so that they do their legal requirements, and it's like, oh, it's BioWare. Oh, just take it off the screen.
I mean, that's pre-built. Do we have any example of the gameplay by any chance?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm looking at it now. It's got the dwarf. It's got Bianca. So you still have like, remember Bianca? Remember the dwarf? Oh, you like playing with that, didn't you? Remember, got it in our game. Bye.
Cake slice. I want to see if it's a cake slice or if they actually have an idea what the fuck.
Look at this shit, right? So the dwarf looks almost like
nice
a one.
Khopesh, though.
Yeah,
I respect the Khopesh.
Like the dwarf looks one-on-one accurate representation. Like they know how to make male characters, right? Like the male characters still look good. Oh my fucking god!
Classic quad crossbow from
Jesus Christ! Is this Liliana? Holy shit!
No,
oh my fucking!
That's the old dude, yeah.
No, dude, hold on. I'll give you the link so that we can talk about the atrocity. 0.13 seconds is this Liliana. Look how they massacred my daughter. Look at this shit.
What
the fuck, dude? Look at, oh my god. Go to 0.14 seconds when she's looking at the screen. This is Liliana. Well, maybe it's not. Like I'm looking at the hair. It's like red hair, bow. I'm thinking Liliana, but like, my god. ChatGPT with facial recognition is going to say a man, 100%.
I got the perfect screenshot for you. Here
I think we're watching the same thing,
Look
but like, let me hold
Go.
on. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my god! Oh my god! Take it away.
That is the perfect. Take it away.
Take it away. Take it away. Oh, Dios mío. You know what? I had women say, V, the only reason you're not a feminist is because you don't know what it's like to be objectified. You can never understand. It's like, bitch, I see Dragon Age. It looked at me through the screen. It coveted me with her eyes.
Look how they massacred my girl.
My wife is going to wake up in the middle of the night. It's like, V, what's wrong? You're talking in your sleep, and it's like, Liliana was looking at me. Save me.
I don't know, man. I said it before. I don't get how we were in like Arkham City, like 10 years ago,
God.
And we had Harley Quinn that looked really good, and we had Poison Ivy that looked really good, and we even had models for NPCs that look like NPCs, and somehow we have moved to the new Unreal Engine and all this new shit, and we start looking like stuff out of the original Unreal game.
Look at the comment section. Look at the comment section. Dragon Age Redfall. BioWare is gonna get shot down, ain't it? 9 years waiting for this. Dragon Suicide Squad.
Yep, they're gonna get Rocksteady.
Man, I don't even want, like, at this point, I'm not even interested in... Oh, okay, so it's not Liliana, it's another character. But it still looks like shit. I'm not even interested...
Then they're definitely trying to milk the fucking member berries here, because red hair, bow and arrow users...
Yeah.
Leatherish armor, this is definitely a Liliana callback.
Oh my god. The thing is, I'm not even interested in seeing hot women anymore. I just want to see women, period.
Harding.
Yeah, just show me a woman, for fuck's sakes. Like, surely you must know. Like, look, I understand Matt Walsh released the famous...
I'm going to make a prediction. Harding is atypical sexuality.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is what the game is about, right?
Gender, I should say.
When I think about Dragon Age, the first thing that I'm thinking about is, like, the cock and pussy. It's like, the first thing that comes into mind is like, okay, but how do they fuck? In what position? It's like... And the trailer,
tentacles. That's great.
Yeah, the trailer looks so fucking cancer. It's like, oh, novel, and it's like slow animation. It's almost like it's a drag queen thing, isn't it?
I don't know.
It looks like.
I'm looking at it. There's some little bits that are really cool looking, and then there's shit that happens that just defuses the build up, the mystique.
Yeah, literally, like there.
Weight on it, right?
Yeah,
like you try to build gravity when you build one of these trailers.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
To create hype.
Like
and a lot of this shit looks like anti-hype.
No, it's almost like it's got this Dungeons and Dragons feel to it, which is what they should be going for, right? Because it's a Baldur's Gate spiritual successor. That's how it was advertised. So you have like the mages and shit, but then it mixes with the Rick and Morty jokes, and it mixes with the woke shit, the wooba dub dub type of thing,
So weird. I don't know
and with a lot of Californian LGBT, like, look, this guy is casting spells, and he's looking like it's part of a drag show. It's like, It's not cool. Like it's not what you're going for.
I mean, even his introduction, like move over to when they put out the word art.
Yeah, well,
Like
the
they put
word art then.
it's just I don't know. It's anticlimactic. It feels like it's just enough cringe to piss on the campfire.
Yeah,
Like, look at that. It's like, woo, look at the sparkles. It's like, what are you trying to communicate with this?
Yeah, like the original Dragon Age was like, this is a mystical world with really hot characters in them. But it's like, it's a world on the edge of darkness. Like, it's about to die. The bad ones are coming and they're going to kill everyone. So you need to say, but now they're like not even taking it seriously. They're joking. They have the Marvel humor. They have the Borderlands humor. Like literally, what sells? You know, what do kids like? Well, kids like purple words on the screen, and they like the LGBT characters from League of Legends. And let's have that. Like, what else do kids like? Big dragons. Put that on the screen.
Wow, all of those guys conveniently just in a pile underneath the.
Yeah, it's bad. It's like.
But the whole like I'm also taking a look at it from the characters, right? Because you're trying to create like a baseline, right? Like, what about the guy that, or I'm assuming it's a guy that they just showed?
Don't assume the gender. Don't assume the gender.
Yeah, all right. All right. You're gonna tone police me about Dragon Age: The Veilguard, but like that dragon killer dude that we just saw on the screen. I'm gonna use "dude" as a gender neutral term here. Jumping alone against a full-size dragon that's tall enough that it warrants that person to jump from a cliffside to get just at head level. Why the earthly fuck does that person need to be in a party? And why is it that when they're going to be in the party, they're going to be level 1?
I mean, you know what? When you look at the first trailer from Dragon Age with the ashes, and you have Liliana do all those acrobatics, like it still doesn't look that dumb. Like she's like, okay, she's climbing some pillars with high agility, but she's not like single shotting the dragon. Like she's just killing some low level mobs.
Yeah, it's still ridiculous in its own way, but it's not absurd.
Yeah, literally, right?
Some like, okay, she rolled, she rolled a 19 and 19 and a 20. All right, she's having a real good time. Still at the end of the day, like she didn't solo it like Galadriel style against a cave troll. Just like, I'm gonna gently poke my sword roughly in the area near his breath.
No, unironically, it's what you said. It's like, why would that guy need a party if he can just one-shot a dragon?
Yeah, if he's going after full-size dragons alone and he lives long enough to make it out of the trailer, like that guy's pretty badass. I don't know what you think, but
yeah, that should be the villain, I guess. Like that's the only explanation, right?
For sure.
Like that would make sense if he's the villain, but like I know the woke lens, they will never make a villain that's a minority. So.
Oh yeah, I'm getting Russell T Davies echoes here. It's like we have just a problem about associating evil with beep. Insert whatever here.
Jacob Andrews says,
I gotta go, man. My game's gonna start soon.
Yeah. Just hop off. I'll read the super chats while you're gone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks for having me here. Talk to you all later, and have a good one, chat. See you later, dude.
See ya. So Jacob Andrew, overall the Xbox showcase feels very African. Well, it's almost like they're trying to outdo themselves on diversity, right? So it's like they view diversity as a virtue rather than a selling point or a story point or whatever. So like the more diverse you get, the more prestige you get in a way. So like they're trying to find like what is the most diverse game out there and how can we make ours even more diverse. And then you read to what the current Xbox is. Magic and Dragon Age 1 was grounded. Yeah, it was, but it's like, whatever. I'll end it here though. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week in This Week is Stupid, and I'll see you tomorrow in the normal live stream. And thank you for the super chats. And I'll see you all later.